Suddenly they heard something down the hall in the dark.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 most disturbing episodes of kids' cartoons.
There was a really strange case at the hospital today. Straight out of a nightmare.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most spine-tingling entries of shows aimed at children. What cartoon episode scarred you for life? Let us know if we missed it in the comments below. Number 20. Teeth for Two. Cat Dog. The sound of a dentist's drill is enough to make anyone squirm in their seat.
Really? Really? With plenty of drilling and grinding and excavation and scraping and...
But somehow, that's just the start of this uncomfortable episode of Cat Dog. Once the pets realize their personal dental habits affect the other's mouth, they begin a wince-inducing war to see who can ruin the other's teeth first. And one thing's for sure, they definitely don't hold back.
No, Doc. Not the aluminum foil!
The recurring imagery of their broken, decaying mouths makes this episode genuinely difficult to sit through. That's not even mentioning the gruesome sound effects either. If anything, this episode will have you reaching for the TV remote. Or, better yet, for your own toothbrush.
Well, boys, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take you down to the gums and do a total build-out.
Number 19. Earth Mover. Batman Beyond. One Batman Beyond villain took a literal, down-to-earth approach to villainy. The titular Earth Mover wanted to get revenge against its enemies by burying them alive underground.
He had to be dead. That's what we figured anyway.
As if the episode's claustrophobic setting wasn't bad enough, the reveal that his true form was a decomposing corpse is just plain haunting. But the worst part of the story is that it's hard to label Earth Mover as a cut-and-dry villain.
Not accident. Not accident.
He mainly wanted revenge for becoming a twisted version of his former self.
Tony?
You left me buried.
While Earth Mover still isn't the most sympathetic villain ever, the fact that he's heavily implied to die by the end of the episode made this story even more disturbing. Number 8. Sleepless in Retroville. The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. In Jimmy's eyes, pillow fights and pizza are all part of a perfect sleepover.
Okay, one ultimate pizza coming up.
Unfortunately, Carl's knack for messing things up turns those two into walking scary stories.
The Slumbertron must have combined the pizza and scary story programs to create a pizza monster!
Sentient Italian food doesn't sound all that frightening at first. However, kids might disagree when they see the horrifying and formerly inanimate objects chase Jimmy and the others across the house. Not even Carl's hilarious songs can save this episode from feeling like a full-blown horror film.
Good morning to you! Good morning to you! We're all in our places!
Thankfully, a twist revealed that it was all a nightmare. But in the end, it's safe to say that it's not just Jimmy who will have trouble getting back to bed. Number 17. Jack and the Haunted House. Samurai Jack. This legendary cartoon primarily told its story through action. This terrifying installment is no different.
A foolish samurai warrior wielding a magic sword stepped forth to oppose me.
In order to emphasize a scary house's uneasy atmosphere, this episode abruptly swaps between art styles and color palettes. When those choices were combined with an eerie lack of background music, every moment became absolutely spine-tingling. The scary decisions led to the moment when a shadowy monster debuted. In the context of this frightening episode, the villain feels more menacing than the show's other one-off villains do. since it was capable of spooking the typically unshakable Jack, it was a guarantee that the viewers would get scared too. Number 16. Haunted Train. Hey Arnold. Boarding this ride of an episode will give you an express ticket to having an intense fear of trains.
The train then enters the zone of darkness.
From the moment Grandpa Phil tells the story about a haunted caravan, it's painfully obvious where the episode is heading. But it still didn't make the scariest portion of the story any easier. Arnold, Gerald, and Helga all become trapped in a train seemingly bound for the underworld. The tense stakes aren't glossed over either.
We're all gonna die! We're all gonna die!
There are several bone-chilling allusions to fire, brimstone, and everything in between. The trio thankfully manages to emerge from the train unscathed.
This train isn't haunted?
Haunted? Oh no, not that story again.
Even though it's all okay in the end, it's still hard to watch these three young characters grapple with the thought of their own deaths. Number 15. The Boogeyman Cometh. The Real Ghostbusters. Most kids share a deep, primal fear about the monster in their closet.
Well, sir, it's like this. It's the boogeyman.
What?
But in this specific case, it's not just a childhood nightmare. The animated Ghostbusters discover that the boogeyman is all too real. Additionally, he also has some downright terrifying ways of scaring his victims. The way his massive head pops out of doorways is sure to haunt young audiences for generations, especially given the creepy echo of his voice.
What have we here? A rather large toddler?
While busting ghosts is literally in the show's name, this marked one of the few instances where the monster wasn't played off as a joke. The Real Ghostbusters definitely let the frightening boogeyman live up to his age-old reputation.
Now do you believe us?
Looks like we owe all of you an apology.
Number 14. Angelica's Worst Nightmare. Rugrats. Ironically, it seems like Angelica's worst nightmare is a lot like everyone else's. After all, if a giant baby tried to eat us, we'd be scared too. The episode in question centers around the spoiled Angelica becoming anxious after hearing she's getting a new sibling.
You see, sweetheart, Mommy and Daddy are, wait, the thing is...
Angelica, Mommy's gonna have another baby.
Her fears manifest themselves into a horrifying dream where her baby brother is presented as a horrifying monster.
That's right, I'm the new baby. I'm the new baby and you're the old baby, see? And you better get something straight right off the bat. There ain't room in this house for the both of us.
Watching him stomp and grow into a beast is horrifying. To make matters worse, her dream parents neglect and ignore her fears.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You know babies can't talk.
Charlotte, you're right. It'll be perfect for the new baby.
Oh, by the way, we're moving the new baby into your room and giving him all your toys. Huh?
The scenario Angelica dreamed up is so demented that we wouldn't be surprised if this episode inspired viewers to have nightmares too. Number 13. Collector. The Powerpuff Girls. Given how frequently Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup save the day, it's no surprise they have a devoted fanbase.
Holy hoarders! This has got to be the most complete collection of Powerpuff paraphernalia on the planet!
But a loner named Lenny Baxter completely destroyed the line between fan and fanatic. After finishing his collection of Powerpuff Girl merchandise, he began, quote-unquote, collecting a lot more personal items.
Hello, ladies! Let me be the first to introduce you to my collection permanently.
The sight of a grown stranger sneaking into the girls' rooms is enough to get anyone's skin crawling. But Lenny's obsession gets even more disturbing when he tries to turn the trio into his own personal trophies. Fortunately, a group of less toxic fans rescued the heroes before they became permanent parts of the villain's collection.
But one thing you don't have, Lenny, is true fandom.
Number 12. It's a Wishful Life. The Fairly Odd Parents. When our bucktooth main character is berated for every good deed he's done that day, he decides to teach everyone a lesson by wishing he didn't exist.
Fine! You know what? I wish I was never born!
Timmy is then transported to an alternate timeline where it turns out everyone is better off without him. What's worse is that Jorgen tries to send him to what is conceptually similar to hell.
Goodbye, Timmy Turner! Forever!
When Timmy is able to steal Jorgen's wand, he laments, wondering if everyone else's sadness is worth his existence. He decides it's not, and accepts his fate.
But all I'll be doing is making everybody's life worse. I can't do that to Cosmo and Wanda, Mom and Dad.
It all turns out to be a test, but it's still a pretty shocking plot. Number 11. Same as it never was. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The 2003 series of TMNT has a couple of dark episodes throughout its run. However, none of us expected our heroes in a half-shell to die on screen. When Donatello is sent to the future, he discovers things took a turn for the worse in his absence.
You've been gone over 30 years, Donatello.
30 years? It can't be!
Splinter was killed, the brothers split up, Mikey lost an arm, and Shredder has taken over the world. In a last-ditch effort to stop this horrible timeline from happening, the Turtles charge Shredder's HQ, dying off one by one.
All right, Donnie, we'll do it one more time. But please, tell me we have a fighting chance.
The saddest part is seeing Raphael crawling over to his estranged brother Leo to spend his final moments with him.
Leo! Leo!
It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Dead Guys. Number 10. Are you happy now? SpongeBob SquarePants. Squidward has always gotten the short end of the stick, but no one expected the show to insinuate him ending it all. Squidward realizes that he doesn't have a happiest memory, prompting SpongeBob to try and create one for him.
Look, I don't need a happy memory, so just get back to your culinary grease factory and leave me alone.
Unfortunately, his efforts fail, sending Squidward into a deep depression, locking himself away for weeks. It's here we see one of the darkest images ever drawn in the series. Squidward takes a rope and ties it up, implying he's decided life isn't worth living.
I can't seem to get happy. Maybe this will help.
It may have been a bait and switch, but by the end of the episode, Squidward has a mental breakdown, leaving his depression unresolved.
Are you enjoying the hors d'oeuvres?
At a certain point, his pain is no longer funny. Number 9. To Heck and Back. Rocko's Modern Life. Even though it aired on Nickelodeon, Rocko's Modern Life likes to push what they could get past the censors. In this episode, Heifer finds himself choking to death after swallowing a chicken's ribcage. While Rocko tries to revive him, Heifer meets Peaches in what is quite obviously hell. Despite Heifer's food habits being played for laughs, the cartoon gets quite dark as Heifer is exposed to his various gluttonous sins and how he would be punished.
Now turn to channel 3.
Sure. Where's the remote?
You poor fool.
Still don't know where you are, do you? There is no remote!
It gets even scarier when Peaches starts appearing out of nowhere when he thinks he's safe. The cartoon likes to play with adult jokes from time to time, but the cartoon went a little far for a watershed time slot. Number 8. Failsafe. Young Justice.
Attention, you have entered the boundaries of Earth space.
Failsafe is easily one of the most relentless and horrific episodes of a kid's cartoon in recent memory. The episode kicks off with the death of the entire Justice League following an alien attack. To make matters worse, the team is forced to take the League's place and defend the Earth themselves.
The one thing the aliens cannot destroy is hope.
But after Artemis dies, the rest of the team is picked off one by one, before suddenly waking up and finding out that the whole scenario was a simulation made real by Miss Martian's powerful psychic mind, leaving everyone devastated by these real emotions for a fake experience. We know that Young Justice was supposed to be mature, but not that mature.
What you experienced was a training exercise.
Number 7. Nightmare Hospital, Steven Universe. While Steven Universe's stories often take place in bright and colorful settings, this chapter steers the viewer right into utter nightmare territory. During the story, the hero has to go into a hospital at night.
What was that?
At the same time, mysterious enemies lie in wait within the shadows. A subdued color scheme and unsettling music makes the hospital uncomfortable long before any evil gems start rising.
He can't take a day off, can he? You!
When they do, they come in the form of some of the grisliest creature designs the show has ever seen. From the lighting to the music to the storyboarding, this entire episode is a masterclass in how to create a terrifying tone and atmosphere. But it might just do its job a little too well.
Gem experiments. This is what you've been doing? Training to fight these things?
Number 6. Heavenly Puss, Tom and Jerry. The adventures of this cat and mouse duo is filled with endless violence, but the characters have only ever died a handful of times. Blue Cat Blues sees the two characters await a train to run them over after losing the girls of their dreams. However, Heavenly Puss pulls no punches. After Tom and Jerry engage in a typical chase, Tom is crushed by a piano and ascends to heaven. But once he gets there, he is rejected for how he's treated Jerry.
If within that time you can obtain the signature of that little mouse on this certificate of forgiveness, you will be permitted to pass.
It's here we find Tom pleading with Jerry to forgive him before he gets sent to the red-hot place down below. Turns out it was all a bad dream, and Tom has never been happier to see Jerry. Number 5. Haunted, Teen Titans.
He's not coming back, you know. That's all that's left of him.
Obsession can drive a person insane, and in Teen Titans, Robin was that person. In this episode of the hit series, Robin ponders over Slade's defeat and wonders if he is truly gone, a question that begins to haunt him as he starts to see the villain everywhere he goes.
You're not real.
I'm very real. Could you have gotten all those bruises from someone who wasn't there?
Robin is driven mad by the hunt for Slade, who turns out to be nothing more than visions caused by a hallucinogenic chemical. The whole affair serves as a metaphor for paranoia and PTSD, which is what made this episode one of the darkest in the series.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one still looking for him. The only one who can stop him.
Number 4. Fillet of Soul, Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter and Dee Dee have a real nasty habit of getting caught in messy situations. Look no further than the episode Sore Eyes, where a self-imposed laser eye surgery gives Dexter a terrifying lens on life. But Fillet of Soul still managed to be more unnerving than ocular horror. During this infamous story, Dexter and Dee Dee tried to give their goldfish a proper burial.
We'll give Fishy a decent burial in the garden tomorrow.
Unfortunately, their actions caused the pet to come back as a sinister ghost. And the fish isn't the only being to come back. The idea of your childhood pets coming back as strong spectral beasts is terrifying on its own. With an unsettling concept and a terrifying final jump scare, it doesn't take a genius like Dexter to figure out why this story is so scary.
Early morning is Daddy's special bathroom privacy time.
Number 3. The Puppetmaster, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
What I'm about to show you, I discovered in that wretched Fire Nation prison.
One of the most dangerous forms of bending in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender is bloodbending, the act of bending the water within a person's blood to control their movements. It was first introduced in The Puppetmaster, which told the story of Hama, a former prisoner of the Fire Nation who escaped by developing this dark technique, which she continued to use to harm innocent civilians.
They threw me in prison to rot, along with my brothers and sisters. They deserve the same.
Desperate to stop Hama and save her friends, Katara is forced to use bloodbending herself, an act that leaves her in tears. With such a dark premise, a tragic villain, and a horrific technique, The Puppetmaster was perhaps the darkest and creepiest episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Congratulations, Katara. You're a bloodbender.
Number 2. Perfect. Courage, the Cowardly Dog. From Freaky Fred's debut to King Ramses' curse, the show has always found a way to terrify its viewers in new, unique ways. This show always bordered on the scary, with plenty of episodes using chilling ideas to drive the comedic situations Courage gets himself into. But the series finale haunted many children's dreams. During this episode, no matter how much he tries, he can't seem to do anything right.
You did it wrong! Just like you painted the chicken coop wrong. And you did a lousy job repairing the windmill.
His feelings of inadequacy manifests in the hallucination of a school teacher called the Perfectionist, who berates him throughout the story. It all comes to a head when Courage starts having bad dreams, where a CGI creature soothingly tells Courage, "You're not perfect." You're not perfect. The sudden animation switch is weird enough, but this one, among many other moments, makes the entire episode nightmare fuel. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Dark Harvest, Invader Zim. This episode is, without a doubt, the most messed up thing ever to be aired on Nickelodeon. When Zim fears that his alien biology will reveal his origins, he attempts to make his body appear more human, and the episode quickly devolves into a full-blown horror movie as Zim harvests organs around the school, replacing them with everyday objects until his hunt finally ends and he steals Dib's lungs. Seriously, how did this one make it past the bigwigs at Nick?
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
An alien harvesting human organs doesn't exactly make for great children's television, but it does make Dark Harvest our choice for the number 1 unexpectedly dark kids cartoon episode.
It isn't human! It's horrible!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.